is CW Sports. Eight weeks ago, it began with rookie perfection.
Perfect 300.
Each week since, another chapter.
Strike to win. He gets it. Anthony Simonson has won the 2026 PBA Illinois Classic.
Like the oil on a leg, the PBA story keeps moving. The margin disappears, and the very best begin to separate.
That is Spencer Robarge, the title winner.
Last Sunday, Spencer Robarge became the second rookie to win a championship this season. And the deck once more reshuffles. Standings shift, stakes rise as the race to be part of the Tournament of Champions rolls on. Every frame, every pin, every shot writes our story. 5 remain for the New York Classic, and the next chapter starts now. It's Championship Sunday on the CW.
Well, it's week 8 of the season, and we're in upstate New York for the Surfside PBA New York Classic. Inside ABC Gates Bowl, there are 5 bowlers with a shot at the title. The first match is going to be a battle of the Chris's with 2 veterans and major title winners in Chris Vi and Chris Prather, and then welcome in rookie and 21-year-old Riley Woodard at number 3. The number 2 seed is the only one who can break the streak we're on of different winners this season. If U.S. Open champ Patrick Dombrowski can get his second title of the year today, but he will have to go through another rookie in number 1 seed Austin Grammer, who's making his first PBA TV appearance, and 2-time title winner Kyle Sherman. Rick Allen with you for this one. It has been an unbelievable 7 weeks of bowling to start off this season. 7 different winners.
Yeah, Rick, what an unpredictable season we've had. Like you said, 7 winners. We've had veterans like Patrick Dombrowski winning the U.S. Open. We've had rookies like Bonta and Spencer rising to the occasion. And today we have some champions trying to get it done again. And then we have some rookies trying to rise to the occasion. I can't wait.
Yeah, 3 of the guys are major winners. So they have already hoisted the trophy of major events. Take a look at this. We go back to 2021, the U.S. Open. Chris Vi won that one, during COVID. Chris Prather, 2 majors, the 2020 PBA Tournament of Champions, the 22 World Championship, and Patrick Dombrowski, yes, the 2026 U.S. Open winner. But this week and this year, it has been unbelievable in the sense that rookies have been the big story. It started off with Brandon Bonta in that perfect game in the Players' Championship. And then last Sunday at the Pilgrims Ohio Classic in Columbus, Ohio, second time this season, rookie emerges victorious in Spencer Robarge. So let's go to Taryn Hatcher and talk a little bit about the rookies in this field today.
Well, Rick, you don't get much more fresh-faced than this. When we were talking to Riley Woodard yesterday, he told us that he got the email on Friday letting him know that he even got into this tournament as we were interviewing him. His excitement, it was pretty palpable. I asked him if he was at all nervous, if he at all had stage fright or anxiety building up around being under these bright lights, and it didn't really hit him yet. He said he also didn't really have the context for just this level of a stage, so we'll see how that goes today. Then when it comes to Austin Grammer, talk about somebody in terms of his demeanor, very different. We were joking with him on a scale of 1 to 10. The guy is a 5 across the board on everything. He is so even-keeled, so cerebral, but again, so fresh that he's not even affiliated with a ball manufacturer yet. So we could see some interesting combinations here, and it should be interesting to see how they handle this stage today, Rick.
Thank you, Taryn. Yeah, it's going to be great. I can't wait to watch the rookies. But it's going to start off with a couple of veterans. Match 1 has Chris Prather against Chris Vi. Let's hear from the 2 bowlers.
I'm Chris Prather from Romeoville, Illinois. I've got 6 titles, 2 majors, including the Tournament of Champions, both Pokemon and fishing.
You saw me last week. I'm back again, looking to win the Surfside New York Classic. From Blacklick, Ohio, I'm Chris Vi.
Higher seed, Chris Prather already on that left lane. And leaves the 10 pin on his first throw. Prather, an interesting interesting story. You heard him say 6-time winner, 2-time major winner, but there's been a little bit of a drought for Chris Prather.
Yeah, it's great to see Prather back on the lanes. I think everyone enjoys seeing him bowl on TV. He starts off with a spare. One of the best forms that we have on the PBA Tour. So pretty to watch, and what an opening match here we have to start. Like you said, 2 veterans on the tour now. Chris Vi, we saw him last week, and these 2 bowlers, so smart, what I would call very high IQ bowlers. They see the lane well, they make adjustments quick. What an opening match.
Last week we talked about redemption. Could it be redemption for Chris Vi, who also leaves the 10-pin? You mentioned him in the field last week. Has not been able to get all the way up the ladder and fight for that title. The possibility exists today, but he's going to have to run the ladder to do it. And he also will pick up the 10-pin. Well, if any of the pros on today's show bowl a perfect game, everyone in America can receive a free game of bowling, courtesy of Go Bowling. To pre-register, visit GoBowling.com and sign up for the Go Bowling Free America promotion. We did that in week 1, and sure enough, Brandon Bonta comes out and throws a perfect 300 game, and everybody in America that signed up for it was like, okay, we get a free game of bowling. Vi's second frame. Oh, and he'll take that strike. A little bit heavy on the head pin there, but he's still able to get it up to the pocket, knock them all down.
Yeah, great shot here for Chris. Comes up a little high, but gets a little love on the trip board there. That's how you want to start your match. Both players start with a 10-pin. I think that's just a feel thing, getting started early. These lanes, they're tricky. Once these players get the right feel what they need to do with the release, they'll be able to start carrying better. We see Chris Prather starting with the IQ Tour AI. Interesting. Prather throwing reactive, Chris Vi throwing urethane.
Good strike there for Chris Prather. He's one that gets a little bit close to the foul line.
Yeah, I see Prather here. This is a little too close to comfort for me, but beautiful 5-step delivery. You can see, this is what I want to point out, his head. So steady right here. As he goes into his release, that thing doesn't move. You can basically just, you could have a plate sitting on that and it wouldn't fall over.
And the split. 4-10 split for Prather.
Now this left lane all week was tending to hook a little bit more than the right lane. And you can see Prather throwing a different ball in this lane to try to combat that. This shot goes a little high, leaves a 4-10. First time he's left it all week.
And he almost gets it. Wow. He thought he had it.
He called it off his hand. He liked it. This is exactly what he needed to do. Slide that 4-pin over, and wow, what an incredibly unlucky break to go right in front of the 10-pin.
Just cut it a little too much. Would have went in front of that 10-pin instead of sliding into it. And now Vi working on the strike. And he leaves the 10 also. The ring 10 there. Taryn.
Yeah, Rick, I don't know if you noticed, but last time Chris Vi threw a strike, the crowd kind of laughed in response. That's because for Chris Vi's strike song, he didn't know this was going to happen. They played the Cookie Monster song as the first strike song in tribute to his mom, Angie, who always brings us chocolate cookies on the road. And he did give her a nice little point and a shout out after that as well.
There's Angie. And he picks the spare up. Angie's very instrumental in his bowling. I mean, she's out on the
tour with him a lot. That's his dad also with Craig. But Angie goes out. She was the one who told me last week that he was having trouble actually holding the ball with the hold hand, not the one that has his fingers in holes. But and so he said this week he actually put hand warmers in his hand to keep kind of that a little bit moisture feel so that it wasn't as slick.
Yeah, the left hand, the offhand, very instrumental for two-handed bowlers. We see Chris throwing an IQ towards 78U. This is urethane. This is a ball he threw most of the week. You see now. Yucky.
He left the 10-pin 29 times throughout the week. Only missed it once, but now has done it a couple times already today.
Yeah, already 3 10-pins. I mean, this is what urethane is prone to doing, but Chris was able to get the 10-pin out all week, and I think this is why Prather is actually throwing reactive right now, because the carry with the urethane ball just isn't great early in this match.
Converts again. The way they got here,
Pretty good.
Prather was able to defeat Sanders, and Chris Vi, after he got through you, was able to defeat Riley Woodard. Riley Woodard beat him, but he was the highest seed, so that is why he is now the number 1 or the number 5 seed in this bracket. Stepladder as Prather strikes.
You can see that right lane just a little tighter. When the ball gets to the spot down lane, just doesn't want to come off of it as well. Beautiful release here, gets the shaker to fall. Now Prather going high on this lane the last time, leaving that 410. He's going to have to make a little adjustment with his feet left, get that ball a little wider down lane, and has to trust it.
It works this time. The back-to-back strikes for Prather in the 4th and 5th frame. Now Vi will take us through the 5th and 6th frame before we take a quick break.
We see Chris making a ball change here, throwing a rocket ag, going to reactive now from the urethane. Now he hasn't gone to reactive this early on the lanes all week. So let's see if he can make the change here.
And a little light in the pocket, and another split.
Just wants to fall off it on this lane.
You see this ball flirting with the gutter down lane. And you heard Chris, wow, that one got all the way out to the 1 board. And you heard him say it wants to fall off it. That means when the players are getting the ball to the spot that they want it to get to, it just isn't getting up the hill and hooking into the pocket. But 210 spare here, makeable for Chris.
Yeah, did it twice this week. And was able to get it once. He gets it again. A great pickup. That's why they're pros, right there.
Yeah, this is a huge confidence booster for Chris. Couldn't have drawn it up any better. Needs to hit the left side of this 2-pin, slide it into the 10, and unlike Prather is able to connect. Both players dialed in. When they're making good shots at splits like this and converting, you know both players are on top of their game.
He took a re-rack. You see the deep breath there. Chris talks about staying patient. Doesn't want to put extra pressure on himself. And a big strike there on the left lane.
Come on. Trust your gut. Let's go. Come on.
So Vi has a strike in the 6th coming off of that split 8 pickup. Prather coming off of 2 strikes in the 4th and 5th frame. We'll see who takes the advantage when we come back. The PBA on the CW is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Drivers who switch to Progressive could save big. Quote today at progressive.com. And by Tajín, a unique blend of mild chili peppers, lime, and sea salt. What's your way to Tajín?
And welcome back inside. Keeping everybody happy is DJ Diesel here, playing the rockin' tunes while we took a quick break there. But back to action, and it's Prather's turn to hit back out on the lanes. And it will be his 6th frame, and he's coming off of 2 strikes. So we'll see if he can keep this momentum up.
Very good.
See right now with the advantage, max score 258 for Prather, Vi 47. And got lucky there and just left the 4-pin.
Good angle.
I heard him say good angle. The shot shape was what he wanted to execute. The last time on this lane, he went light. So this one, he gave it a little more power, a little more revs to try to get the ball up the hill into the pocket. It just hooked a little quick. And these lanes are just a little touchy right now for these players. So they gotta be really good with their touch.
It's a 4-pin there as we take a look at the oil pattern, which is the Bear 38.
Yeah, this week's oil pattern, the Bear pattern, like you said, Rick, 38 feet. And it was a little trickier, little lower scoring than we've had in the past. These players, typically they're going to start right with urethane, this orange line between first and second arrow. But you already see these players starting to migrate in a little bit where this yellow arrow is around 15, but still trying to utilize the same spot down the lane.
And he gets the strike on that left lane.
Yeah, both players just trying to manage this early transition as we see Prather, little light hit. When you get those light hits, you know you're in the right ball, you're doing the right thing. But I think these lanes transition different and faster than either player was expecting. So it's who can get lined up the fastest and then start executing.
By now with the advantage. Max score, a little bit light in the pocket there, and big split.
Not slow down on this lane.
Yeah, Vi again here. The ball just not reading the spot, coming up light and paying max penalty, 2-4, 8-10. Another spare that he can pick. He's typically going to move his feet about 4 or 5 boards to the right and get as many revs on the ball as possible, trying to hit the left side of this 2-pin, trying to hit the 3 pins and slide something over into the 10.
He's going to leave 2 pins, the 8 and the 10. Well, we want to take a look at our Bowl TV highlights. Kyle Sherman, a man right here, advanced to match play this week here in Rochester, defeating Nate Garcia in the round of 24. Beat him 4 games to 0 in the bracket play, which felt really good. But then he ended up running into the buzzsaw Chris Vi in the round of 16 and lost that one 4-1. But 14th overall, very impressive run. And the 7-pin stands for Vi.
Yeah, that Chris Vi guy, he's a good bowler.
I knew you were going to say that.
We were going against each other. It was like he was seeing the Matrix out there. Every move, he was on top of it, never missed anything. And we can see here, ball just coming a little light, almost leaving the 7-10, gets to 10 the fall. Easy spare, though, should pick it.
He picks the 7-pin up. And gets the spare there. Other finishers, as we look down the list, Kyle Troop was 9th. A.J. Johnson, 13th. Talk about you in 14th. Chris Barnes in 24th. We're actually going to hear from Chris Barnes here in just a little bit. He'll be a part of our show, as will the guy's name you didn't see on there. And tough lead here with 310. Another name we didn't see on that other finishers because he wasn't in the top 24. The #1 bowler in the world, E.J. Tackett, had a little more of a difficult route this week. Did not make it even into the brackets. Very rare, but we're thankful as we see the cover there. And the spare
we will have E.J. Tackett as a part of our broadcast a little bit later.
Yeah, I'll let him defend himself later, but EJ typically takes Masters week off from bowling, so I'm going with that, but we'll let him defend himself.
All the statistics we give you come from Lane Talk, and if you want to take your bowling to the next level, make sure to head to lanetalk.com.
All right, now this is Prather's good lane. He's lined up. He needs to set himself up well for the 10th.
And the messenger doesn't get the 10. It has been a game of spares. What can you pick up?
Yeah, this ball, again, just didn't quite have the energy driving into the pocket. You heard him say, come off of it. That is meaning he wants his ball to hook off the spot. It just didn't quite do it enough, but he'll take the 10 pin.
So with that, now Vi has to strike out to get to 203 in the 9th and 10th frames. Prather still has a max of 206, so if Vi wants to put any pressure on him, he's going to have to strike here in the 9th.
And wisely, Vi going back to urethane here, going for control. The last 2 shots he threw reactive, paid max penalty. He's, right now, going back to urethane, just trying to make the best shot he can, trying to get to the pocket.
And he does it. A strike in the 9th. Now he'll finish off on that left lane.
Rick, what an impressive shot that was by Chris. You're completely lost on that lane. You're splitting, you're paying max penalty, and you make a ball change when you need it most in 10 in the pit. Now, he's got this left lane fairly figured out, going back to the reactive ball on it, and this match is far from over.
Light in the pockets, and another big split. The 10 off of it. 210. These guys are flirting with the gutter too. You mentioned earlier about that one board. Well,
yeah,
bouncing off of it almost there.
And all week, that ball would hook off of that spot for Chris, but today, not happening, thus leaving these splits.
Can he get it this time? Wraps around the 10, but leaves it. So an open frame in the 10th. What? 71 for Vi.
This is a huge break for Prather because now pretty much has the match in hand now and gets to have a lineup shot on this right lane to try to figure it out.
What is this lane?
You just heard it. What is this lane? Yeah, he just needed to hit pins to defeat Vi in this first match. But we'll see what he learns. And if he learns from that first match, because he's going to have a rookie he's going to be going up against in the next match, and that is going to be 21-year-old Riley Woodard. So Prather advances to the second match, and we'll see if he can gain any confidence at all from what he saw in that first match. And we'll see how a rookie like Riley Woodard, in his first PBA TV appearance, how will he do up against the competition? Riley Woodard, he looks laid back. We'll see how he does when he gets under the lights here in Rochester. Born to Bull, it's an HBO original 5-part documentary series following the stars of the PBA Tour from A24 and executive producer Vince Stiller. That continues tomorrow with the season finale. That's episode 5 at 9 p.m. Eastern on HBO and streaming on HBO Max. We've got a little clip that tells you what's going to happen. This is with Jesper Svensson and Kyle True.
Svensson in the 9th. One more for the win.
happy tears this time. Let's go. Bowling brought me so many great things, great memories, great friends. I would have never known him if I didn't bowl. I don't know where my life would be without bowling, but I wouldn't have any of these amazing people in it, that's for sure.
And a lot of emotions a part of Born to Bowl, and thankfully Ben Stiller has been a part of this as the executive producer. He was actually at the Tournament of Champions in 2025 at Riviera Lanes, being there with the tour, the bowlers, and the fans. We're going to be at the TOC in a couple weeks, but first we're at the Roth-Holman Doubles. That's next week at 4 o'clock again, Championship Sunday. And then the Tournament of Champions, the last show on the CW, that is on the 26th. And we have Hall of Famer Chris Barnes with us now, joining us. Talk a little bit about the doubles, because you would normally be on PBA 50, and it starts next week, but you're going to do the doubles because you got an opportunity to be with your son.
I do. A thrill of a lifetime. I get to bowl with my son. He had some chances to bowl with one of his best friends, Brandon Bonta, but one last ride for us, and we're going to bowl doubles there, and so I won't be at the PBA 50 down at the Villages starting off this week.
All right, but you will be at the PBA 50 for the remaining of the week, and what are we looking for there?
Well, you get to see the legends of the game. Walter Ray Williams is back from shoulder surgery, Pete Weber, Anleto Monticelli, Parker Bone, and then you have the current stars like Tom Doherty. You have guys that are resurging after 50 with Tom Hess and John Janowitz. If you want to see some guys, the hair's a little grayer, but the competitiveness hasn't gone anywhere, I guarantee you.
Yeah, there's still a competition bug there, right?
100%. These guys want to win, and some of them are really, really good at it.
Yeah, okay. And so who do you think is the favorite in PBA 50? Is it you? Well, you can say it if you want.
I think I'll be in the mix, but John Janowitz has been the guy to beat the last few years. Tom Doherty is the most successful current player on the tour that's also bowling the PBA 50. Those guys are the guys that you have to chase down. All
right, well, we've got Hall of Famer, obviously, and Chris Barnes here with us. We're going to have another future Hall of Famer that's going to join us for Game 2. That will be E.J. Tackett. Yeah, he didn't make the TV show as far as bowling, but he's going to be a part of the broadcast. That's on the other side of the break.
One more to win this, the Illinois Classic. He gets it! Anthony Simonson has won the 2026 PBA Illinois Classic.
And welcome back inside as we're getting ready for the second match of the day. We've decided to bring in the #1 bowler in the world. That's right, E.J. Tackett joining us now. And so, E.J., we appreciate you being here. Obviously, we're holding you from watching the Masters, but at the same time, you would, I'm sure, rather be out there bowling.
Oh, for sure. This is my passion. This is what I do. It's how I pay my bills. So I'd much rather be out there bowling, but it is nice to be able to watch a little bit of golf.
All right. and bowling, by the way. You're watching bowling right now.
Bowling, too.
Okay. So he's going to watch a little bit of bowling with us. The next match coming up, obviously, with Chris Prather, who has been able to get by Vi, will now take on Riley Woodard. Let's hear from the young man.
Hey guys, you might not know me. This is my first PBA telecast. I'm here trying to win the PBA New York Classic. My name is Riley Woodard. I'm from Orem, Utah. Let's go get one.
Orem, Utah. And so Riley, being the higher seed, gets to decide who goes first. He has chosen that Chris Prather will start on that left lane first. And the messenger takes the 10 out, and he strikes. On that first frame, it is the Surfside Strike. The Surfside Strike is presented by Surfside, made with real vodka, only 100 calories and 0 bubbles. Must be 21 or older. Please enjoy responsibly.
Great pin action here for Prather. Head pin right off the kickback into the 10. Just how you want to start your second game.
How about the legs here for Riley Woodard? And a split.
Now, EJ, you've been on TV more than anyone recently. This is Riley's first time. How hard is that first shot under the bright lights?
It never gets easier. I can promise you that. It is very difficult. The legs aren't there. They feel like jello, and you know, trying to just get it off of your hand, and you're playing close to the gutter. You're like, I don't want to throw in the gutter. Yeah, that first shot's definitely really hard, but like I said, it never gets easier.
So now trying to pick up a very, very difficult spare here. Hits the 4-7 out. To an open frame, he gets it out of the way.
Yeah, it's okay here. You know, first shot, if he's going to have an open frame, the first frame is the frame to do it. And judging by the first match, these scores aren't going to be crazy high. Riley elected to go with urethane, and he had this ball working all week. He was probably the best player with urethane. His carry percentage was unbelievable. So it's no surprise that he's going to go to this ball on both lanes.
Unfortunate side again. Leaves the 6 pin. So we were looking in the bag. That's brought to you by Storm, the standard for those who demand the best. We are the Bowlers Company. And not the start that young Riley Woodard was hoping for.
Definitely not the start he was looking for, but it's very, very early. He's got to get his legs underneath him. As we saw from the first game, the score went high. Picking up the spare there makes you feel a little bit better. But he's going to have to rely on Prather here, I think, to give him an opening. But Prather's a proven champion, so you know, I wouldn't expect him to open too many doors.
And Prather now has the experience of that first game under his belt, so he knows a little bit about what to feel with these lanes and how they're going to transition. And that one misses the head pin.
Yeah, we see again this left lane. I mean, these two lanes are like bowling in two different bowling alleys right now. Sorry, this right lane, extremely tight. Players can't get to come off the spot. You see Prather miss a little right, and this ball has no chance to hook. He tried actually ball changing to a bionic there, a stronger bowling ball. You see him scratching his head there, confused. And right now it's going to be about who can play straight and figure out this right lane, and who can play the left lane and hook it more.
He picks it up. So the spare there for Prather. Taryn.
Yeah, Chris Prather, EJ mentioned a proven champion, but someone who has gone through his fair share of struggles recently. I asked him what he felt like he was able to lock in on, hone in on, that he was able to make it to a show, prove himself once again, try to get back to that mountaintop. And he said, I listen to less voices now. If I'm the one making the decision, it's a lot easier for me to commit to whatever decision it is. Before, he was getting a lot of input from a lot of places, and he felt like he couldn't commit to the things, some of the advice he was given, if he didn't necessarily fully agree with it. So now he listens to himself.
And he's going to leave the 4 pitch.
No chance.
Yeah, so that was a miss left there, but I think the great thing about that shot is it tried to hold pocket. And I think if Prather's really paying attention, which I'm sure he is, that's something good to see. Like, I don't have to throw it as far away from the head pin. So I think whoever can get the ball closer to the head pin, very good, and get it through the pins is going to be the one that's going to prevail in these matches.
And when you have two lanes playing this different, EJ, how do you combat them as far as, you know, you're kind of throwing it completely different on both lanes? It's got to be hard to go back and forth.
It really is, and I think sometimes the best thing to do is to use two different bowling balls. Just kind of reconfirm that these lanes are different instead of trying to do it with the same. Riley there with a strike. That was a great shot.
First one of his PBA television career, that first strike, and that might be worthy of a tattoo. You see tattoos on his right arm. The dragon tattoo, that was his trip to Japan last year. He's also got a tattoo on his ribs from a trip to Italy. They commemorate big events. Well, maybe a big event happens right here in Rochester, and maybe next week we see another tattoo with young Riley Woodard. gets the double. It's got to feel good. Maybe the nerves a little bit behind him?
Yeah, I believe so. Those first two shots, I think, were... I'm trying to not miss the head pin. And then the next two were really good. They were both in the same area on the lane. And it seems like those two shots were almost identical on both lanes. So maybe Riley is able to figure something out where he doesn't have to play the lane so differently.
Prather still trying to find something. And he leaves the 6-10.
Yeah, you see Prather still fishing for ball reaction, and that's the last thing you want to see. You miss a little right, the ball doesn't quite get to the pocket. You miss a little in, it goes high. That makes you feel like you're bowling in a phone booth. It's hard to make good shots when you have that ball reaction.
He picks up the spare. Well, this Tuesday, NXT on the CW unleashes week 1 of the NXT Revenge 2-week special. And both the men's and women's NXT championships are on the line. Now, you're not going to want to miss this one. It's WWE NXT. That's Tuesday at 8/7 Central right here on the CW. A little re-rack action there for Prather. Mentally getting back into it. Obviously, he's struggling right now to find that perfect throw, that perfect roll.
Yeah, that was a big double out of Riley, putting the pressure on Prather. He sees Riley has good ball reaction. He's thinking, I need to find it right now.
Leaves the 4-pin.
And I see Prather just keeps creeping left a little bit. He's trying to find that spot where his ball will hold in the middle of the lane. And I think the biggest difference between being on the television show and the qualifying this week is there's a lot more urethane going down in practice. The lanes are dragged with oil down lane more. And there's not as many lines from all the guys to create that hook in the middle part of the lane so you don't feel like you can throw it to the right. And being that far left, you can't really miss left either. So it's going to be a little bit hairy here for Prather to try to find that happy medium and feel like he has a little bit of miss area both directions.
Riley Woodard now has the advantage. His max score 269 to Prather's 246. And go through it. It did. Big strike there for Woodard.
Another great shot from Riley.
Take a look at Riley from behind here. Great game. Keeps his hand right up the back of the ball with a ton of revs. I mean, what a beautiful release. And that up the back release is exactly what you're looking for. It allows the ball to read the lane, blend out the oil pattern, and still have a ton of power when the ball hits the pocket.
You see that big Storm logo on Woodard's jersey. Well, he's from Orem, Utah. That's Storm's headquarters. That's where they are. And so he was able to have the assistance, as we see the 10-pin staying up. Has been coached by Hank Boomershine since he was 14 years old, but has always been kind of that Storm kid.
Yeah, what a great resource that he has there, being up by Storm there. Just an errant shot by Riley. Got a little out of time, ball going through the face, but luckily just leaving a 10-pin there.
Yeah, very fortunate to leave only that 10-pin there.
Riley's one of 3 right-handed single-hand bowlers, and he has a slight advantage right now over Prather, but it tightened up there in that 6th frame. We'll see if Prather has a response when we return. DJ Diesel having some fun here. We are too, as bowlers getting ready to get back underway here in the second match. We've got U.S. Open champion Patrick Dombrowski. He's warming up over in the warm-up lanes. That's Austin Grammer in the background there as well, trying to stay warm. And trying to find something right now is Chris Prather. He was talking to the ball reps earlier. Really, maybe searching for confidence?
Yeah, huge shot for Prather here in the 6th. He was trying to get some information, but this is a scenario where he has to trust his gut and commit to the shot.
close, and we noticed he went back to urethane there.
Yeah, I think just trying to find some type of control on the lane. A little high on the pocket here, leaving the 4-pin, but with reactive right now, he has a miss both ways. He misses right, he misses left. He's almost splitting. Urethane gives him a little bit more control. And just trying to stay close.
Covers. And so he has the spare in the 6th. And you see now still trailing Woodard. 235, 248 is what Woodard's max could be. So Prather has to put something together here. And again, a ball change.
Yeah, staying with reactive on the left lane.
Yeah, this left lane, it's hooked more all week. I think he feels like he can shape it more. He just has to find the right ball.
A little lighter in the pocket, but he gets the 10 to go. And a strike for Prather.
What a great break that was.
Almost a confused look on his face, though. Is he unsure if that was the right move?
I think Chris was thinking that ball would come off the spot a little bit harder. And it kind of got there and was a little bit lazy, went a little bit straight. Very fortunate to get the strike, but it's all still back in Riley's hands right now.
Into the 7th frame. Riley Woodard. Off the spare. And light in the pocket. He leaves the 210.
And that's what you can't do on that lane. Riley, he's been able to get his ball to read before it gets to that spot. And this one just leaks a little right on him. Ball just misses his hook spot right there. I mean, we're talking 6 inches or so, but that's enough to leave a split, the 210. But we've seen this pick before. Chris 5 made it. It's makeable. Needs to hit the left side of the 2-pin, slide it over into the 10.
Misses it.
What am I nice?
He's had a smile on his face almost all week. Is Riley Woodard, as you see a few of the things that he likes, fishing, video game. He says outdoors for him. Anything outdoors is great. Creed Films. Just 21 years old. He said making the show. This show right here is his bowling moment.
Yeah, I'd have a smile on my face, too, when he didn't even think he was in the tournament on Friday.
Right.
He's on the show on Sunday. I mean, unbelievable.
And that one.
Really? 5?
Yeah, really.
That's below average.
Riley is using every bit of the approach. I would say this shot is a little bit of an autocorrect after getting the ball right on the previous shot, making sure don't do that again, and it just overcorrects.
First time he's left this all week, and he's only going to get 2 pins here and leave 3.
I kind of think that's an experience factor, realizing that you got to take each lane for what they are. You got to think of them as completely separate lanes, different strategies, and yeah, I think he took what he did on the right lane and said, I'm going to make sure this hooks, and you can't do that on the left lane.
And it goes a little bit beyond that, too. It's not just each lane, it's each shot.
Yeah.
3 open frames now for Woodard in his debut television appearance as he goes up against the veteran Chris Prather.
This is a huge shot mismatch right now. Chris Prather coming through as we would expect.
A little more confidence there. You heard him yell, do it? Yeah.
Made a small adjustment off of the 4-pin he left on the last shot on this lane. Perfectly dead flush.
And Chris knew how big that shot was. The rookie let him have a little opening, going back-to-back opens there, and he knew a double there sets him up perfectly here for the 9th and 10th.
Do you ever get nervous when you see a bowler get so close to the foul line? We've seen Prather get his toe so close to this foul line.
I get nervous because I fouled once.
Oh. I mean, that toe slides right up to the foul line, but it doesn't matter. Strike for Prather.
And again, we see a little bit of a miss left, but he got into the correct bowling ball that lays down a little bit and is able to hold pocket.
Yeah, the beautiful form. And at Prather, once he starts getting comfortable, he can put such great touch on it that he has a little miss from right. He can miss a little left and it holds. And that was something he focused on this week, just putting a great release on it, having the right ball speed, and letting the ball do the rest. That's something he learned from you, he said.
This is huge for Riley now.
How does he respond? Just didn't. Got to the 2 board and did not turn left.
Face. Right. Yeah, it seems like he's lost his way a little bit.
Yeah, this one just launch angle was a little too open, wide of target. And again, Riley was used to that ball coming back all week. He had so much miss from him. That's why he was able to such high scores. But today, not the case. Shot making, much more of a priority.
Nice.
Great cover for Woodard.
That was a really important spare. There's a very, very small glimmer of hope now. If he missed that spare, the match was pretty much over.
Gets the spare in the foundation frame. As he will.
Let's get more than 5 on this one.
You hear him talking to himself.
I've never talked to myself before in my whole career.
Of course.
I've both next to you the last couple of weeks, EJ. I can attest to that.
Mm-hmm. And a great strike there.
There it is.
And Riley's going to come back and evaluate what he's done, what he's been able to do in his first TV appearance, what it was like when we talked to him yesterday. He made the comment, he said, everybody tells me it goes really fast. It's, like a blink of an eye and it's over. And he's, potentially 2 rolls away from this first TV game being done for him.
Yeah, it's pretty rare for someone to come out and bowl exceptionally well on their first TV show. Another great shot.
It makes it even harder for a rookie like this when he has to battle 2 lanes. We don't see this all the time. They're doing completely different things. So not only is it going fast for him, but he has to somehow process this information, bowl, make a good shot. I mean, it's just a lot going on. And if you don't have the experience on how to deal with it, you can just let it slip away like that.
And I think it's exactly what we saw with this match. But he was able to put himself here once, and there's no reason he can't do it again. He'll take this as a learning experience.
With that strike, that means Prather needs 6 pins. So 6 pins wins it for Prather. you see that reaction out of Woodard. Oh. You just, when you throw 3 strikes in the 10th frame, you've got to think, man, where was that earlier when I had those opens?
Yeah, it's when the match is almost over, you kind of relax a little bit and your natural ability comes back out.
And Prather will move on. So Chris Prather now with 2 wins already. One match won. He's asking, do I need to keep going? Yes, you do. At least you should take advantage of, maybe a ball change, checking it out as we see what will happen next. That 3rd match has the U.S. Open champion, Patrick Dombrowski, going up against Chris Prather. And Prather has been able to outdo 2 bowlers already. Can he take on Patrick Dombrowski and advance up the ladder another step? And welcome to the Go Bowling halftime show. And we look forward to next week, which will be the Roth-Holman doubles. And as we look back on 2022, it was E.J. Tackett and Marshall Kent. They climbed that step ladder to defeat Maldonado and Archer in the championship match. And again, next Sunday on the CW at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific from Bayside Bowl in Portland, Maine. It's the Owens Craft Mixers PBA Roth-Holman Doubles Championship. Well, those 2 guys went out to Oak Hill Country Club, most storied golf venues in the country. Oak Hill, a few days ago, Tackett and Kent were treated to a tour, and what an impressive place this is. U.S. Opens, PGA Championships, U.S. Amateurs, and of course the Ryder Cup. Lee Trevino, Curtis Strange, Nicholas, Brooks Koepka, some of the champions who captured majors at Oak Hill. And if golf credentials aren't enough, the club also has bowling lanes where after the tour, Tackett and Kent rolled a few friendly games. Look at the smile on EJ's face here. Yeah, that was a winning throw right here. Now, go ahead and tell me, EJ, was it a 250 game?
It was 255, actually.
Okay, 255 to beat Kent, but you want him to bowl well, obviously, just like we want to see great bowling out of this next matchup. Patrick Dombrowski, one of the best releases in all of bowling. Kyle, do you think he has what it's going to take down Prather, who's having a really good start?
Yeah, I think these lanes are playing tricky, and you're going to have to really dial in shot making and accuracy. This is something that really is a strength for Dombrowski. Would you agree, EJ?
Oh, absolutely. He's such a great shot maker, and he's always around when they get hard. So Prather finished that match really well, but I foresee Patrick to have some success here.
And of course, Dombrowski has that green jersey on, maybe a little reminiscent of the green jacket that he won at the U.S. Open earlier this year, trying to ride that momentum. Match number 3 is next. Dombrowski and Prather. Stay with us. We flash back about a month ago, the Go Bowling U.S. Open at Royal Penn Woodland, where Patrick Dombrowski faced Anthony Simonson in that championship game. After 56 games, the major title hinged on the result of one final shot. It all came down to the 10th frame. Yeah, that 7-10 was left, and Patrick Dombrowski has his first PBA title and first career major win. 197-195, he was able to take down Simo. And now he's getting ready to take on Prather. Let's hear from Dombrowski.
Hi, you see me a few weeks ago at the U.S. Open win my first major title. I am from Parma, Ohio, Patrick Dombrowski.
And I know Taryn mentioned it earlier about our #1 seed in Grammar being very even keeled, about a 5. I think that would explain Dombrowski as well. This guy
for sure
does not get too high and does not get too low. And he strikes the first frame of this match.
And kind of what I expected to see out of Patrick to start the game, playing a little bit straighter and not giving the ball away from the headpin too much as well.
I'm gonna throw out a little foreshadowing, and I'm going to say that Dombrowski, you're going to think he's going to throw a gutter sometime during this game. And a good strike there for Prather.
The patented trip 4 for Prather. I mean, if you're going against him and you see this man start to trip 4s, it is not a good sign. A little high. And this is a shot that Prather is, he's won a couple major championships getting that hit right there.
And the funny part about it is Patrick's the one that posts about Trip 4 Tuesday. And now he's got it against him.
Maybe it's karma.
Prather trying to take what he learned in the first 2 matches and going up against Dombrowski. Second frame, another strike.
Great shot, and we see Chris just pick right up where he left off in the last game. Finished huge that last game with a 6-bagger. Starts with 2 here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really big for Dombrowski to see how fast he can settle in. We've seen these 2 lanes play so different on this telecast that Prather has a good idea of what to do. Dombrowski, not so much yet, but again, shot maker, very accurate. Let's see how he attacks this right lane.
Big strike there. Want to take a look at In the Bag, brought to you by Storm, the standard for those who demand the best. We are the Bowlers Company.
Patrick throwing a Storm concept. One of the weaker bowling balls in his bag. This is reactive. It allows him to play straighter up the lane, which is where Patrick likes to play the lanes. He likes to play straight. He likes to keep it in front of him. Tries to avoid the big hook.
So you're saying my foreshadowing is never going to come true? Oh, Brooklyn side. And he's going to leave the 7-10. Excuse me, 6'10". And I was thinking about the gutter ball that I know he's going to hit the one board at some point in time.
Well, right now he's moved his break point into about 6 down lane. So if he gets close to that gutter, that's an errant shot for him. And that's what we see on this lane right here. His first shot floated through that spot. That one hooked early. That's the characteristic of that lane. And now he knows, okay, I have to be a little bit better with my release on that lane to get it through that hook spot.
And we saw him make a gesture over to one of the ball reps.
Come on now.
Prather trying to keep this momentum up. Coming off the double. And a big strike in the third. Well, Saturday, the Nashville O'Reilly Auto Parts Series storms into Kansas for another high-speed showdown. You can watch the best battle it out as they chase every point and every inch of the track in one of the biggest races of the season. Don't miss a second of pure, raw racing in Kansas. That's Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, only on the CW. So now, Prather, who was questioning which ball to throw, how to throw it, now has confidence. And a big strike in the fourth.
And Chris got a couple of games under his belt, went through a few bowling balls, was able to settle in, and now has a 10-bagger from the last game to this game.
Prather can get in his bag like this. He has so many tricks, so many releases. He can do anything with the bowling ball, and when they get tricky like this, you really have to get creative. That's when Prather is at his absolute best.
Yeah, and he's got one of the best physical games on tour, if not the best one.
Dombrowski eye on that head pin and leaves a big split.
You know, what we're seeing these shots are the last two from Patrick have actually been pretty well online, and maybe he's just running into a little bit of early friction. And if that's the case, he's definitely going to have to make a move with his feet to the left.
First time he's left this all week. See if he can pick it up. Not able to get the 3-pin or the 7-pin.
And as a player at this point, when you see your opponent start with 4 strikes, you had a couple and then saw your ball hook, you have to do something drastic. Your opponent's probably not going to be opening a door at this point, so you know I have to throw some strikes in a row at this point.
Still the possibility of a 252 game if he strikes out from here. Another big split for Dombrowski, and he can't believe it.
Yeah, coming off that shot, a little confused. I thought this shot was a touch better. It looked like he fed it to the dry a little bit better, but it just came off of it. And again, this is the hooking lane. If you're Dombrowski, this is why I think it was such an advantage for Chris, having a couple games, getting a feel for what the pair is. He knows what his touch needs to be. Dombrowski still trying to figure that out and paying max penalty while he's doing it.
Another open frame for Patrick Dombrowski. He'll walk over to the Storm guys to find out if there's something he needs to be doing to change what is happening in this game, as Prather working on the front 4.
And we've talked about physical game, but this game is as much mental as it is physical. And this is an opportunity for Chris to throw 2 strikes and put a dagger. And he doesn't take advantage of it.
3-6-10 for Prather. Still a big advantage, even with a spare here.
Yeah, this shot just left all the way down lane. Hooks just doesn't give the ball enough room. Leaving it 3-6-10, very makeable.
And he does.
I'm glad Chris did not take any lessons from me in shooting that spare. I saw a post that somebody put up all the ones that I'd missed, which is a lot. So I'm glad he didn't watch that.
It was one post? It didn't take 2 posts to get the
Not
misses?
yet. Not yet. I don't think they found them all. I think that was the problem.
Oh, my goodness.
Again, this is a huge shot to lead into the commercial break.
Prather striking on that left lane. Prather, a two-time major winner, has been running the stepladder. Can he get through Dombrowski? He has the advantage at the break. We'll see if he can keep the momentum up. And welcome back inside as DJ Diesel continues to entertain. I want to remind you, we had Chris Barnes earlier. Go to PBA.com for more information on the PBA 50 Tour. Again, that season begins this week. And Patrick Dombrowski, he's only 47. He's got a couple years before he could take advantage of PBA 50. But he's got to find something here if he wants to advance to that title match, because he's trailing Prather. Big strike there.
It looked like that one there. Patrick was a little bit softer with his hands. We've seen that ball overhook a couple of times. The first two shots were so perfect off of his hand, and then it started overhooking. It could have just been he was in a spot where there was such little oil left on the lane that he repeated so well that he took all that oil off.
Another split.
You could see that one, EJ, not as good off his hand. A little grabby, which is so uncharacteristic for Patrick Dombrowski. I mean, he might be the cleanest, smoothest release. This one just kind of elbows it a little bit, gets offline enough, and again, leaving a split.
And the thing was with those shots, if we're looking at our stats here from Specto, the rev rate was actually less on that shot than his first shot of the game.
Which is wild. It goes high, but that shows how important trajectory is, your projection that you get, your release. I mean, so much has to go right because these lanes are so difficult for you to get to the pocket and strike.
Yeah, bowling is hard.
Yeah.
Bowling is hard. Coming off a strike with 6 with Prather. And he's going to leave the 4-pin.
Right now, Prather's completely okay with that leave. He has good control of the pocket. He knows he has a lead on Dombrowski. He doesn't have to do anything aggressive here. Just make good quality shots and pick his spares.
Yeah, and that was definitely a move left off of the previous shot on that lane when he 3-6-10.
Let's take a look at how Chris Prather is attacking the two lanes. And this just goes to show you how skilled these bowlers are. On the right lane, the left lane, he's playing them a good 7 boards different, but getting the ball to the same place down the lane. I mean, he has so many tools, and for these bowlers to be able to identify what's going on in this invisible oil pattern, make the adjustments, throw 2 different balls, speeds, hand positions, I mean, just incredible.
He's going to leave the 10-pin here on that left lane.
And Chris has been able to get out to such a lead that at this point it's okay. Don't make any dumb mistakes. Let's just hit the pocket. If I strike, I strike, but leave something that I can make.
And that spare, very big for Prather. What it's going to mean is we are going to have another different winner in 2026. This will be the 8th event.
It's certainly shaping up that way.
Yeah.
Patrick has to strike out to have any glimmer of hope in this match.
And he gets the strike there in the 8th.
And his patented trip 4.
Austin Grammer warming up on the warm-up lanes. He is next. The #1 seed in his first television appearance in the PBA.
Get it right.
Very high on the head pin there for Dombrowski.
Just get it right.
You know, it looks like Dombrowski's playing the lanes fairly similar. You can see the frustration starting to set in. He's telling himself, just get it right, which is typically such a strength. We talk about Dombrowski's release. He's so good at floating the ball through the friction, but on that left lane, he just can't do it. And I think he needs to be attacking that lane much different than the right, and he just chose not to do that throughout this match.
Yeah, this one's over. Prather is won already.
And he made a ball change over there to the same ball he's throwing on the left lane. And that looked great.
Prather now has to start thinking about the next match and what he needs to do, what ball he needs to throw, where he needs to stand. We see him walk over to grab a different ball.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. He's trying to get a couple different looks here, maybe get an even better read on the lane of how it's developed and what it's doing, and try to predict what it's going to do in the future.
Right, you can't get too comfortable in this spot. It's the aggressive moves that got Prather to this title match, and that's what he's going to keep on doing. Even though he's been striking, like you said, EJ, he's trying to predict what's coming next.
Match 3 is going to go to Chris Prather, which means he'll move up the step ladder. And can he run it? Well, he is 1 game away. He will take on the #1 seed, Austin Grammer, the young man who's making his first appearance at a PBA Tour event. Prather winning match number 3. Born to Bowl, it's the HBO original 5-part documentary series that follows the superstars of the PBA Tour from A24 and executive producer Ben Stiller. It continues tomorrow with the season finale. That's episode 5 at 9 p.m. Eastern on HBO and streaming on HBO Max. Austin Grammer, the #1 seed. Yep, you're not going to see a lot of emotion out of that young man. We'll see how he does up against Prather, who's standing by with Taryn.
All right, Chris, we talked yesterday about listening to your own convictions, your own instincts, and you were able to find some things out there where others struggled today. What do you like about the way you're bowling right now?
Honestly, it's being able to navigate both lanes. I'm playing them completely differently. At least I was. We'll see what happens in the title match after Austin throws his practice shots. But just being able to commit to doing what I want and taking the advice from the ball reps and really committing to trying to just trust my gut.
What's been the key for you in the right lane versus the left lane? That you mentioned you're playing them entirely differently, at least up until now.
Yeah, the left lane is got a lot of friction through the body of the lane, so the ball's really struggling to get over there to the right. And on this right lane, it's really tight, long right, so if I miss a little firm, it's not going to hook. That's why we've seen guys 210.
And finally, one match away from a title here. How are you feeling? What's going on in your head right now?
Well, like I said yesterday, if I get out of the first couple matches, I'm going to be feeling pretty confident, so I'm feeling pretty good.
There we go, and we'll see how that translates. Thanks for the time. Good luck.
Will that confidence continue in the title match going up against 23-year-old Austin Grammer, the rookie? Could he make history and be the 3rd rookie to win this season?
Now.
And we've got a great crowd on hand here. College teams that are able to enjoy this pro bowling. And the fans here at Rochester enjoying seeing the pro bowlers as DJ Diesel has kept them entertained in our commercial breaks. As we take a look at the between the arrows of this championship match, two-handed versus one-handed, both right-handers. Rookie on the left there with Austin Grammer, and Chris Prather, 34-year-old with 6 titles. Let's hear from Austin Grammer.
Hello guys, I'm a former Team USA member. I'm super excited to be here in New York. I'm from Hammersville, Ohio, and I'm your #1 seed, Austin Grammer.
And as we see Prather up and ready to go, Austin has decided that Prather will go first. When we talked to Austin yesterday, we asked him, what level of excitement do you get to? And he kind of sat there and he said 5. It's like, okay, what do you get down to? And he said 5. So we're not expecting a lot of emotion out of him, but we've seen confidence out of Prather. Let's see if it continues. Big strike there to start.
KP is locked in.
Yeah, it's never easy winning a PBA title, let alone your first if you're Austin, and you got to bowl a Chris Prather that is bowling with maximum confidence right now. These 2 lanes playing completely different. He's figured them out. Now you have to come in right now and show up to win your first ever PBA title.
Austin, a bigger bowler, and can put a little more pace on it, a little more rev rank.
And he'll start off with a strike. His first frame in a PBA title match.
Interesting arsenal with Austin Grammer. He's really kind of a free agent when it comes to bowling balls.
Yeah, you've seen him throw every different brand this week, electing to go with 2 different balls on each lane. Left lane, reactive, Black Widow Dynasty. Right lane, Black Pearl Urethane. He sees the lane difference. He's trying to adapt to it.
And a strike on that left lane as well.
2 great shots to start off your PBA TV debut.
Yeah, what a start by the rookie here.
And you can see on his face how excited he gets.
You know, being even keel isn't a bad thing. Some guys really play off of high emotion. Some guys just like to be very laid back.
Prather strikes again.
Answering right back. And we know we've talked about the difference between these 2 lanes the entire telecast. Up until this point now, Prather is 11 strikes on the left lane and 11 strikes on the right lane. He has equally figured out this pair. We'll see if that will pay off for him to hoist a trophy here in a little bit.
And now going to reactive on that right lane as well. So playing the lane similar. Still a little further left on this left lane. Looking to open with a turkey here in the 3rd frame.
Gets it.
A confident Chris Prather is a scary Chris Prather.
Yeah, I've seen this before.
Yeah, so have I. I've been on the losing end of this.
It's been a few years, but good to see KP back in absolute form here as we see his hand rotate around the ball. Hardly anyone does it better on the PBA Tour. 10 back, such a confident shot.
So interesting story with Austin Grammer not having a ball rack.
As he strikes again in the 3rd. Taryn, he had a friend watching on Bowl TV to help him.
Oh, yeah, and Tyler is over here, Tyler Gromlovitz, who was his teammate at Weber State, and so Austin would basically go reference his phone and whatever Tyler was texting him as he would watch online throughout the tournament, and then Austin said, you know, I was lucky enough to bring him in here, but even before they came up here, Tyler was checking in with Tony Lanning, the national tour director, kind of giving him the lay of how this was going to go, because again, they were just doing this all via communication, technology, through the first part of this week, guys.
And another strike. And this is looking a little reminiscent of the very first event of the year, EJ. Are you getting a little bit nervous?
I'm getting a little bit sick, I think.
To say, it's PTSD's kicking in over here. It is. We see Austin's side profile, 2-handed delivery, tons of power. And what I think is so impressive about this kid is he saw what KP's doing and say, okay, I'm just going to do that. And this kid is lined up early on both lanes.
Really seems like he really paid attention.
And a little light in the pocket.
2-8-10 for Prather.
And that's the miss that KP was talking about, that long right on this right lane where the ball just misses that hook spot and has nothing left once it gets through it.
Chris left this 3 times during the week and was not able to convert it at all. We'll see if he can do something here.
We did see this been made a few times this week.
Not able to get that 10 pin. Well, it's been Will. They won't all season long, with Max's family past catching up to her and $100 million on the line. Things just got even more complicated for Max and Ellis. Don't miss the season finale of Wild Cards. It's tomorrow at 8/7 Central right here on the CW.
Mentally here, Chris has to shake that shot off immediately, get back on it here in the 5th.
100% agree with that.
Strike there.
And that's experience right there. Chris knows that this ain't over. There's going to be some big shots coming down in this game, but that's where you don't carry that bad shot over into that one. Every frame is so important. It takes absolute focus and a huge rebound there for Chris.
Prather has been on the Pro Tour for 12 years, and he mentioned if he was going up against Austin Grammer, he had a little bit of a run-in with him during the week in the qualifier.
Grammer stays perfect. So Grammer had thrown the ball, and he was just to the side of Chris Prather, a couple lanes down, but he kind of celebrated, I guess, for Grammer, and he dropped down almost on his knees, and it was in Prather's side vision, his peripheral vision, and Prather said it made him stop. He had to go back, and he thought, you know what? That's just not what a rookie does. You're not supposed to do that. You know, if you're going to celebrate, you go back behind where people don't see it. So he said, if I go up against him in the title match, I gotta focus on making strikes, and he continues to make strikes back. Grammer does it again.
Back to back trip fours.
No way. As a rookie, man, you're going for your first title. You back-to-back trip fours?
For the front six.
Front six for Grammer. And he's calm, cool, and collected when he sits down. Now Prather sees what he has in front of him.
He strikes on the right lane.
Great comeback after the shot previous on that lane. To have the confidence to get up there and throw a shot like that. Shows, again, a lot of experience from Chris Prather.
Looks like he asked for a re-rack here.
Yeah, just trying to compose himself. He knows this shot is big. We're running out of frames here. And back to your point, Rick, when we're bowling in competition, you know, you have players going in your peripherals, and, you know, we're excited, but tensions are also high. And, you know, you can get excited at the wrong moment just when another guy's throwing a shot, and that'll feel you a little bit like, hey, man, come on. Like, I need this shot too, you know?
Yeah. We've all been through it, and we've all been on both sides of it.
Mm-hmm.
There for Prather.
Another great shot from Chris Prather.
You know, when he bowls again, he tucks his pinky finger in, and obviously a different grip for him.
Yeah, having the pinky finger tucked or untucked helps you create different rotations and rolls with bowling ball to try to have the perfect one for the lane conditions that are happening right in front of you.
Now he has the first 7 strikes toward bowling a 300 game. Should he bowl a perfect game? Again, everyone in America can receive a free game of bowling courtesy of Go Bowling. To pre-register, again, visit gobowling.com and sign up for the Go Bowling Free America promotion. All right. Is it possible a rookie could come out and throw a perfect game to win his first title match? And EJ, you're going to say yes because it happened to you.
100% going to say yes.
Another strike for Austin Grammer.
This has been truly impressive so far. He has thrown every shot really, really well. They've been online. They've all been very close to each other. This is shaping up to be some PTSD, I guess.
or one of the most amazing performances we've seen out of a rookie.
It really is.
Prather just doing what he can now, and he said it. He's going to come in with this match with confidence. He's going to bowl well. If he gets through that first couple matches, and someone's going to have to bowl really, really good to beat him. Well, Austin, front 8, he can't ask for much better than that.
But in true KP fashion, he was able to collect himself after that bad shot, and he has kept himself in this match. This definitely is not over yet, folks.
Foundation frame.
The 10 pin.
You heard him yell go.
Missed by just barely down lane. Just enough to get the ball
to be behind the head pin.
And KP knew how big that shot was, and that is a difficult shot to throw because he needed the strike there to stay in this match. He probably just missed it a little off his hand, and we've all been there. He kept it on line, but it just wasn't quite the release that he wanted.
History is going to be made. Austin Grammer can be the third rookie to win this year. That has never happened in the history of the PBA.
It's just astounding. These kids are good. I'm going to have to get better.
He strikes again in the ninth.
Didn't look like a rookie on that shot.
He hasn't looked like a rookie the whole time.
3 strikes away from a perfect game. Again, a reminder after the show, head to the PBA social media at PBA Tour for the Surfside PBA New York Classic post-game show presented by AMF. We're going to talk extensively with Austin Grammer, who is going to win his first PBA Tour title.
Got away with it. Little area check there.
Wow. All right, kid, go ahead and finish it off.
All right, let's look at the frame of the game brought to you by Progressive Insurance.
Yeah, when it's your day, it's your day. Gets this one wide at target. He knew it off his hand, but comes back, gets the light mixer, front 10. Going for 300 here. The match is over. Can we see it again?
Can we see another perfect game coming from a rookie?
Big strike there. He's one away.
Wow. This is unbelievable.
A strike here and a perfect game.
Is a $10,000 bonus that he will receive, knocking all 10 pins down here.
This is just incredible. All right, Austin. Just an incredible performance. And still no emotion.
No emotion.
There's a little smile. Yeah.
Wow. Austin Grammer a pin away from a perfect game. But what a start to this young man's career.
I'm pretty sure he's not going to have to worry about getting bowling balls at this point.
Taryn, let's hear from the young man.
Well, Austin, congratulations. You are officially the Surfside New York Classic champion. How are you feeling right now?
Pretty good, honestly, pretty good. Fortunately, I couldn't shoot 300, but 299 is still a really hard game to beat, so I was happy to be able to come out here and trust my guys back in the back. My support system's been great. Shout out ABC Gates Bowl. The staff here has been great. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
I was going to say, we talked to you yesterday and we joked about the fact that on a 1 to 10, you're always a 5. You said you got really mad earlier this week and you were maybe a 6. Where are you at right now?
Probably like an 8.
Like an 8. We got an 8 out of Austin. We got an 8 out of Austin. What were you feeling out there that I know you missed perfect by a hair, but what were you feeling out there as you were just accumulating? And a great round of applause for Chris Prather, by the way, well deserved. What were you feeling out there that it was working time and time again? Because guys really struggled out here on these lanes today.
Yeah, I was just trying to stay slow and try to take every shot one shot at a time, not get too in front of myself, and just make sure I was trying to make the best shot that I could every time I was up there.
A little bit easier to have Tyler, your ball rep today, out here rather than texting him over the phone throughout your match.
Yeah, it was awesome. I'm happy he flew in, got to spend some time with him, helped out a lot. So I appreciate him a lot.
Well, you are officially a champion. Congratulations.
Thank you.
you.
Rick?
We're going to find out if he's a free agent after that performance right there. Our PBA Tour coverage powered by Go Bowling continues next Sunday on the CW at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. It's the Owens Craft Mixers PBA Roth Coleman Doubles Championship, the Bayside Bowl in Portland, Maine. For Kyle Sherman, EJ Tackett, Taryn Hatcher, and our entire CW crew, I'm Rick Allen. So long from Rochester, New York. What a day it has been for the 23-year-old from Hammersville, Ohio. Austin Grammer has won his first PBA Tour title. He sets a record, the third rookie to win on the PBA Tour. It has never happened before that three have been able to win. And now he is a PBA Tour champion.